Good evening. Welcome to the A-List, our showcase for Canadian authors from across the country. My name is Brent Cian. I'm one of the literature librarians here at Toronto Reference Library. I'd like to take a moment to thank the Canada Council for helping to make today's presentation possible. In a moment, I'll introduce our guests, Lawrence Hill and Randy Boyagoda, who will talk about Randy's new book, Beggar's Feast. Oshawa native Randy Boyagoda's first novel, Governor of the Northern Province, was longlisted for the Scotiabank Giller Prize. Beggar's Feast followed in April this year. In addition to his fiction, Boyagoda is currently working on a biography of the writer and priest John Richard Newhouse, and is a frequent contributor to Harper's, the New York Times, the Walrus, the Globe and Mail, and the National Post. As well, he's a very good friend of the library. He interviewed both David Mitchell and Salman Rushdie when they visited the Appel Ceylon. Obviously, the real draw was Randy, but we decided to keep pairing him with international literary superstars. Lawrence Hill is the author of the novel Some Great Thing, Annie No One Blood, and the international bestseller, The Book of Negroes, which won the overall Commonwealth Writers' Prize for Best Book, the Rogers Writers' Trust Fiction Prize, and CBC Radio's Canada's Reads. A frequent contributor to the Globe and Mail and the Walrus, Hill is also the author of the nonfiction works Blackberry Sweet Juice and The Deserter's Tale. Please welcome Lawrence Hill and Randy Boyagoda.
Thank you. Welcome, Randy. The thing to know about Randy Boyagoda is that he defies all expectations. He's a writer of Sri Lankan origin who takes delight in savaging the sacred pillars of Canadian multiculturalism. He's a married father of 3 who rises before his 1-year-old at 4 or 5 in the morning to write before going to his day job. His day job is as a professor of American literature at Ryerson University. He's a regular CBC columnist, writes reviews for major Canadian and American newspapers and magazines, writes scholarly work about writers such as William Faulkner, Ralph Ellison, and Salman Rushdie, and is currently writing a biography of the theologian Richard John Newhouse. But most of all, he's a brilliantly talented novelist who garnered instant praise in Canada with his first novel, Governor in the Northern Province, and whose accolades continue with the publications earlier this year of his second novel, Beggar's Feast. Randy Boyagoda is already a major, serious, respected writer, and you can count on one fact. His art will cast an increasingly large shadow in the years to come, just as it will cast a wonderful light. And this is a glowing light of his intellect, his multifarious interest, and his wicked, wicked pen. Randy, would you like to begin with a reading?
Yes, thank you, Larry. I just wanted to say how pleased I am that you're all here, but I want to begin, though, with a confession, and it has to do with some eavesdropping that I was doing before the event. I noticed that there were a couple of people getting ready to come to the event, and I noticed that they were talking. I thought they were talking about my book and talking about me, and so I couldn't help but listen in. And it was two elegant and thoughtful and sort of well-spoken women. And the first woman said, "Are you going to this event tonight?" And the second woman said, yes, I am going. I mean, come on, it's 2 giants of Canadian literature. How could I miss an event like this? And then the first woman said, "I know, I'm so excited about this guy's new novel. I mean, it's set in Sri Lanka, and it involves a little boy getting on a steamship and having all these adventures. It's such a big novel. I'm so excited to hear about it. And he hasn't written about Sri Lanka in a few years." And the other woman said, "Oh, I know. In fact, I'm kind of hoping to ask him a question, but I just have one problem." And the other woman said, "Well, what's the problem?" She said, "I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I mean, I've seen it in print a million times, but how do you pronounce it?" And the other woman said, "Oh, I think it's Ondaatje." So then I checked, because I was going to correct this mistake and point out that it was, in fact, Boyagoda, and I realized that the 2 women having this conversation were my wife and my mother. And so this was further disappointment, but they have shown up, as have many others, and I appreciate you all coming out. The passage that I'd like to read for you from my novel, Beggar's Feast, comes from about a quarter of the way through, and it's a passage, actually, that Larry suggested. He thought sort of opened up the book in many ways. This is a novel about a man named Sam Kandy, who, over the course of a 100-year life, has 3 different wives, 16 children, begins life as a nobody in a village in the middle of Sri Lanka, and over the course of this life, he becomes he's a monk. He's a shipping agent, he's a spice merchant, he's a hustler, and eventually he is the headman of the very same village where he was born. But sort of shot through this book is a great deal of anxiety that Sam has about who he is in the world. And one way that he tries to solve this is by getting married to the most prominent woman in the village, which is to say, the daughter of the village headman. And so the section that I would like to read for you today is from about a quarter of the way through it. So it's just after Sam has married his first wife. And what he knows about his first wife, basically, is that her father matters a lot in this village, and he wants to matter a lot in the village. And so in this particular section, he's married this woman. It's 1929. We're in Sri Lanka. He's 30 years old. He's had a remarkable life. He's already been on multiple continents, seen and done a whole bunch of things. But at 30, on his wedding day, there's one thing Sam Kandy hasn't done yet. One other point, just so you know, the word Matya, which will be used repeatedly in this little sequence, means sir in Sinhalese. Anything else, Matya? No, just tea. Thank you, Sam said. Are you sure, Matya? There was something in the tea seller's voice. Sorry? Matya, I have worked in this tea stall for many years. Right, Sam said. Matya, this means I've been here across from the hotel for many years. Right. And I'm staying in this hotel, Sam said proudly, defiantly. But not staying alone, no? Oh, you watched me arrive in my motor car, Sam said. Yes, you arrived as two, but only one has come out. Madam is... she is... Sam was biting his bottom lip. What could he make of his new wife? Her name was Alice. She was city thin and village pretty. In the car down to the hotel, she had studied the seat back and his shoulder, back and forth, as if she was to be examined upon one or the other. She liked to hide in hotel furniture. I should note in passing that Sam is terrified of his wedding night, and so is Alice. And in fact, she's hiding in the hotel wardrobe in the hotel room on her wedding night instead of coming out and seeing her new husband. So he's left the hotel room. He's left her hiding in this little place and come out to this tea stall. The stall-keeper smiled. Madam is resting because it is such a long journey, and like any good gent, you have come outside to give lady her time and space before, isn't it? Sam nodded and sipped his tea. Matya, this is your wedding day, no? It is. The stall-keeper leaned out and looked west, asked with his chin that Sam considered as well the later daylight, the tea-stained redness of the sun-falling sky. Matya, congratulations! Long life to you and your wife and many children, and please, I want no money for the tea. The stall-keeper motioned Sam closer. He dropped his voice. But now is not your wedding day so much, is it, Matya? How's that? Now is nearly your wedding night, Matya. What are you talking about? Sam snapped, suddenly everything in full view. Please, I have kept this stall across from the hotel for many years and helped my father here since I was a boy. Can you guess how many young men, none dressed so fine as you, have come here at this hour of their wedding days? Sam said nothing. He should have swallowed the rest of his tea and left. He could have poured it hissing upon the ground and left. He would have flung it across the counter and left and called for the motor car and returned and left the stall a wreck of old wood and dry leaves and blood-red puddles, steaming spilt sunset. But he did none of it. Because if he did any of it, in time there would be nothing to do but the one thing he had to do this day. The one and only thing that at an epic continental 30 years of age, Sam Kandy had not yet done. Matya, come this way, the stall-keeper said, motioning to the side of his stall. Sam stepped across a green-stained city of old metal canisters, drooping stalks of shoe flowers, a sack of onions dropped against the wall like a drunk. The stall-keeper blocked out his front window with old crate bottoms and met him wearing a city saint's smile, all sweet and sharp angles. Matya, the man said again, and by now Sam hated this word, heard it only as a price quote for what was coming next. I would like to help you with this. With what? Sam asked. That's what the bridegrooms always say. You know this suit means nothing. I'll give you a thrashing just the same. Yes, yes, I know what you can give me, but I also know what you can give your bride. The stall-keeper's eyebrows moved like they were hooked to a fisherman's pole. He spread his hands across the scored surface of his counter and leaned down smiling, his face so composed that for a moment Sam worried that here was someone else expecting to be kissed. I must return to Madam. But his feet were suddenly so heavy, and the street itself, from here to the hotel, suddenly seemed too much for a man who'd been walking city streets like they were his own paddy banks since he was 14 years old. Besides, from this side of the stall he could not see his hotel window at all, which meant he could not be seen from that window either. Sam lit a cigarette. Ayo, put that out, will you? It'll shrivel you before you can even get started. Would you like to try a little watercress in hot water instead? How's that, Sam asked. If not watercress, the rest of the words came fast. I also have tea made from the bark of a kumbuck tree. Bitter, but it rarely fails. He went on, trying every surefire remedy and success story he knew. But Sam showed nothing to watercress or kumbuck, or to the tale of an Englishman who had taken 5 cups of a particular concoction and had 5 handsome blonde sons to show for it. 5 crowns of gold. While the stall-keeper spun, Sam dropped cigarette after cigarette, crushed each like this was some kind of victory, and eventually he plucked a flower from the tree beside him. But memory had him here too. It was wet to touch, like a Singapore shophouse flower hanging between humid bedroom bricks. And Sam started shredding its petals between his thumbnail and first finger, petals that were either a shocked or a tired-out pink red, or now splotchy cheeks of a girl in Sydney. Ah, yes, I can also make shoot flower tea from those plants, but that's for the woman, for when you don't want to marry her. It's called, you see, a cleansing tea. Worried lover boys and mad fathers come for it at dawn. Just yesterday, the son of one of our finest Tamil speechmakers came and took, but not something you need today. The stall-keeper's voice dropped. Mathia, also, not here, but also. I have access to a yellow oleander and to an even more potent flower. What another of my English customers told me is called, here he swallowed, Gloriosa superba, the glory lily. Not an auspicious name, at least for the madam who takes any of it. Mathia, do you know about any of these flowers? Sam shook his head. Of course not, and a bad omen even to mention on your wedding day. Now, if you don't like to try watercress or kumbuck before you go upstairs, I have durian pulp, but don't take it unless you can hold your breath like a pearl diver. Also, cinnamon oil and rose water for best-smelling breath and body. If it has been a long day of traveling for you and madam, I recommend both. Also, look. The stall-keeper reached out his opening hand. For top-flight gents like you, tea made with the strongest cardamom seeds in all of Ceylon. These are taken from the very best spice merchant in all of Colombo. His family has been selling for centuries. Mathia, please know it for yourself. They were the right brown, but shriveled. Sam breathed in just enough to remember the nature of such strength, and he smiled. Someone had ground fresh cardamom upon weak seeds too long out of their pods. Sam knew this trick. He blew into the stall-keeper's cup palm. It made a dirty little windstorm. The stall-keeper dropped the seeds, which clattered like a broken bridge of teeth. Right, said Sam, strongest. He waited for the next thing to knock down. He wasn't going upstairs yet. The stall-keeper seemed to drop to his knees, but before Sam could peer over the counter, the little man had come out the side entrance and rifled through a sack. Wordless, he returned to the stand, stepping back onto his fruit crate and staring at Sam eye to eye. Then he showed him a long, straight knife. Right, strongest. He sliced a copper onion in 2. He tossed one half to the side and pulled free an intact ring from the other. He held it forward in the half circle of his thumb and first finger like a squashed pearl. When in doubt for any and all wrongs and ills, take an onion, his mother used to tell him. When in doubt he'll pay, show him a knife, his father said. I slice of onion, the stall-keeper declared. His tone was now flat as blade. Take and eat and love your bride. Take a vial of rosewater, too. And what will this do? Sam scoffed. This will do what you won't otherwise do on your own, Mathia. Immediately, desperately happy, Sam tensed and clenched his teeth and made like a man about to tear down the nearest skyline. You know I could. Ayo, Mathia, enough, please. The little man made a face like someone was taking too long, piercing one of his ears. I have customers waiting, and your bride is waiting. You could take this and go, or leave this and go. I have only tried to help you and your madam this afternoon, and see what I have for my efforts. Still holding the onion slice in one hand, he showed the other, an empty palm below a shame-stained sleeve. So you want money from me to eat a slice of onion? No, Mathia. I want money to forget that today, your wedding day, you had to eat a slice of onion. Thank you.